Welcome to DAX Wednesdays, our bi-weekly video episode on DAX formulas and how to use them. In today's episode, we're going to have a look at a DAX function called previous month. This DAX function belongs to the time intelligence category of DAX functions. So let's move directly to the PowerBI desktop for a demonstration. As you can see over here, I already have a report open. In the orders table, we have these columns such as order date, customer segment, the quantity, price per unit, and the corresponding sales. If I were to order this table, so you can see we have dates starting from January 2012 to December 2015. So we're talking about a 4-year period. Before we have a look at the DAX function previous month, please note that this column, order date, should have the following data type called date and the format, which is this one, March 2001. If you are following along this exercise, just make sure that these are the two settings for this particular column. This will help you to get the DAX calculation right. So let's create a table over here. Firstly, we'll click on this table visualization icon. We'll just expand this like this. In the orders table, select firstly the order date and sales. So as you can see, when we selected order date, it by default opened the date hierarchy as well, such as year, quarter, month, and day. We don't want to see order date in such a manner. So what we will do is click on this icon, the downward arrow. You click on it and then select order date. So what PowerBI desktop will do over here, it will show us the order date column as it was supposed to be. For the sales column, as you can see, we have the total sales over the 4 years, and as we saw in our data view, it has given us back the total of sales made for that month. So before we have a look at previous month, I'm just going to change this to from sales to current month sales. Now we're going to add a third column over here, in which we'll be able to have a look at the sales that were made for the previous month. In order to do that, I'm going to add the measure over here. You click on these 3 dots, then the new measure, and we're going to call this measure sales previous month. Next, we're going to type calculate. Calculate takes in 2 parameters or 2 arguments. Over here, we're going to first of all ask for a sum of sales as the first argument. We close this bracket. It's important that you close this bracket so the DAX function understands that this is the first argument for the calculate function. Then we click, then you type in comma. Now here comes the interesting part of previous month. So as for the second argument for this this calculate function, we are going to use the DAX function called previous month. So what this DAX function does is it will filter the sum for that date, which is the previous, for a date that we put in as a second argument. And over here, since we have put previous month, it will select previous month, and we need to put in the which we need to provide them the column it can refer to. Over here, we'll close these brackets, and as you can see, it has accepted this measure. I put in one more bracket, I guess. Yes. So as you can see, it has accepted this DAX function, which is valid. And now you can see the sales previous month measure has appeared on the right side. So what I'll do, I'll just click on this checkbox. So it will be included. So it will be included in our table. So what do you see over here? We have three columns. The first two that we already had in our data model. We have added this measure, sales previous month, which shows us the corresponding value for the previous month. So you can see 90,000, which was for January 2012. We will see the same value over here. So if you compare it like this and the diagonal value, you'll see that PowerBI, that DAX function has returned us the value for the previous month.